And you're very welcome back. And that was Breeding Car or Brí Car with Ciol na Mara, a track from her brand new album Song of the Sea that has just been launched or has just been released. And I'm delighted that she is with me in the studio now. You're very welcome, Bríd.
Hi, Jean. I'm delighted to be here. Thank you.
Jean. And indeed, I'm just getting a wee bit of feedback here from you. Just, I think that's okay now. Yeah. And so you've released a new album. You've been a busy woman. What have you been doing since we last spoke?
Well, returning to school first and foremost. So I spent most of the spring and summer.
I'm going to change your mic because I'm getting feedback from you. So maybe if you bring over that one, is that nothing is good on live. So try that one now till we see if that's better.
Better to work with children and animals.
That's better because, as I said, it just spoil the enjoyment for all the listeners. So you've been busy since we last spoke. You've been artist in residence in Oracle and Gweedore.
I was,
and you have a new album out. So tell us all about what you've been doing.
Well, I've had just a really, really good year. Began with the artist in residence in Gweedore and Auraclan with the team, with Anya and Owen and Manus and Paul and all the team. It just meant that I was based in Gweedore, in the theatre in Gweedore, through Uthras and Aline Agus. Basically, I took on board then that when I was in the area, because my mum's from Arranmore and I would have been in and out to Arran an awful lot and would have spent a lot of my childhood in Arran, that I would use the opportunity to maybe explore more of the islands that are around the coast of Donegal. I suppose coming out of lockdown and appreciating our own area, I kind of really wanted to check out other places around the coast at Gweedore and on around Tory and Critch and all the islands. And then I met with people that, you know, maybe shared their songs and shared the culture of the area that I may or may not have heard before, and then went away and wrote about the experiences. And it was a hard job picking the songs, because for every song that's on the album there's about another 3 or 4 sitting in the book at home that sometime maybe we'll get round to recording them. But Jim, my producer in Newton Studios, he helped me pick and choose which songs would represent the year and the people that I met.
Mm-hmm. So the album is a result of people that you've met throughout the year.
Yeah, and I'm very fortunate that there's actually another album coming, next year called Duets, because some of the artists that I met and talked with wanted to maybe do a duet and work together on the song. So this is kind of like what I wrote for myself as solo, or what it translated. And even Jim, as I said, one of the songs on there is the only one that's a cover, is Mé the Grallam Mwara, is Will You Still Love Me Tomorrow. It's a translation of that, because Jim always loved that song and asked me, and there and then in the studio, it took literally about 10 or 15 minutes to let's do it for the fun, and he did an amazing arrangement to it. So I love it, and was very fortunate. I had, I went and set up meetings with one of the songs. Each song on the album has, people behind it that I met as part of a conversation and a collaboration. But I went away then with the ingredients and put down what I felt right. And then before I released the album, let everybody that was involved with each song hear what I'd come up with. And I'm really, really happy. I really am blown away that they all liked it. Everybody from Gola Island to, I had Charlie McGettigan and Dad and me, we all met. I took my dad with me and we all met up in Ballyshannon for a couple of hours, and I thought we were going to talk about all things Eurovision, and instead he wanted to see my book, and he randomly picked a song from the book to work on. So he's actually going to record his version of what I've written as well. So it's been very exciting so far.
Fantastic. And I often and of anybody who writes a song in English, but then to translate a song into Irish, like and to get the right meaning, it must be quite difficult, or maybe it's easy when you know how.
I don't know about that. I think it's never directly translated. It captures the essence of the song, or in a way, because to me the Irish language is way more poetic than for me to express myself. I just think that it's rich, it's culturally rich, and I love it. And I'm very, very fortunate that I've Enya, Ní Curran, Owen McGillivray and Colm Ferreter, Roisin Ferreter, or Roisin Hegarty, and a whole lot of people that they're my go-to just to look over it, because I'll still always be hesitant about grammar and vocabulary and whatnot. But as An always says to me, Brígin, is far Gaelic a Briste na Bearla Cliste. So that's my license.
Fantastic. And the songs, there's Ban na Hullen, my Island's Mother. I think you're going to sing that for us. And song, you were saying there's a story behind them all. There's a story behind,
and actually the Ban na Hullen is actually that's the Gola Island one, because when I went to Gola Island out with Saba, and I met Eddie and Maureen, and we had a walk around the island, and I went away off on my own and came back with as I was travelling, I kind of had the notion that this must have been what Arranmore was like, maybe 50, 60 years ago, before tourism and whatnot. And I just imagined my grandmother walking through the island and walking along the beach, and the old school was there, and it was so quiet and just lovely, and I felt very connected, even though I'd never been there before. So Ban na Hullen was, the idea of it is, you can take the girl from the island, but you'll never take the island from the girl. That's the theme of that song.
And you were saying during the interview, and I knew as well, that you have a great affiliation for Arranmore, and you spent a lot of your childhood there, and the islands and the whole Song of the Sea. I think your album captures that.
I would hope so. It's a journey, all right. There's a lot in there. Like, we were very blessed when we were young that there were 7 of us in the family, and Mum would just put us all into the car. We'd all head off for weekends or the summer, or if Granny was coming up and doing her shopping in Letterkenny, and indeed I have people telling me that they remember me hitching a lift with them to go in for the weekend, or back out in the Unions bus, or I was very, very blessed and very, very lucky to have had that experience. And it's fantastic now that there's so many from Donegal going into the Gaelta and going in for weekends, and it's just a lovely place to be. And I suppose very fortunate that I had Chapel Strand to play on my youth, really, so that was very instrumental in a lot of the songs and that as well.
Mm-hmm. And I suppose we haven't time to go through the story behind all the songs, but is there any song in particular, besides White Noise, going to talk about that?
Okay.
Is there any one in particular that you have a favourite story behind?
Oh, probably the one that I'm going to sing tonight is My Island Mother. That one, I was actually in Arran, and Mum was up at a place you might have seen in the media recently, that the Arranmore Pipe Band went to Beaver Island in Canada. So in Arranmore there's a monument to Beaver Island, and the people that moved over there, and there's a lot of greens and that, and that was my mother's maiden name in Beaver Island as well. So I went up for a walk, and Mum was up there at the island memorial at the lake, and she just looked so happy and so content before she saw me, that I just thought, this is her happy place as well. And I imagined her when she was very, very young with her 2 sisters. And the reason I love this one is because when I wrote it, and I rang my aunt in London, Auntie Madge, and I rang Auntie Annie in Galway, her 2 sisters, and played it for them at the piano, and they loved it. They both really, really loved it. And then I played it for Mum for Christmas. I took the keyboard up and set it up in the kitchen, and Mum and Dad sitting, and myself. And even that was a big deal for me, because I find it so much easier to sing, to a crowd than to sing to my own family. It's funny, but that was a big for me, and Mum loves it. So the whole album is really, this is Mum's album.
And White Noise, you had great success with that, and you had a very prestigious award, Brígin.
I did. I'm very lucky. It was the International Song of the Year contest, and to be honest, I didn't know I was in it because I entered the UK songwriting contest. I've been very lucky in that recently, you know, and they forwarded when I won, you know, a category event in that. They sent it on to the International Song of the Year, and next thing the news came back then that it had got runner-up in the international contest. And they're so simple, because White Noise is the only one that I didn't do in studio. We did it at the end of the second lockdown at home, you know, and Yvonne Fahy, who is a good friend, she plays on trad in the Proms. We were in college together back in the day. So Yvonne is absolutely, she's insanely talented. Every instrument you could imagine, Yvonne plays it. So she arranged it and put it on, and next thing, before you know it, it was just meant to be. It was a song about, you know, not understanding a non-verbal child, you know, and hoping that you were able to help the non-verbal child, and that you were, you know, reading through gestures and physical, you know, physical gestures, facial expressions, and just knowing the child and being around the child, that you're doing the best you could for them, but you never really truly knew. So that's what the theme of the song was. Will I ever hear the sound of your own voice, or, you know, is it going to be white noise? So that's
beautiful.
Yeah, I do like it. It's one of my favourites, to be honest. Yeah.
And looking at the album cover now, the artwork is fabulous. So are you responsible for that?
I am. I've taken these mad notions. So the back of the album cover, I was just saying cheerio to my good friend Anne Biddy. She's got a fabulous song coming out soon too. So I was just saying cheerio to her, opened the front door, and the moon was just sitting beautifully above the Swilly. It just happened to think, oh, that's a lovely photo to take. Took the photograph, and you know, without a filter or anything, again, or a good old Donegal countryside, it just looked beautiful. And then that gave me the idea for the front of the album. I was in Tory with Anne Biddy, and we are going to be allowed back again, I heard lately, and we took Dad as well. It was great fun. But when I was there, Anne took a cracking photograph of me on the road to Tory, that then a friend of mine that's all into her art, her graphic art, I told her I wanted rocks, I wanted sea, and I wanted it to look like it was dwarfing me, but that I was part of it. And Kayla, my daughter, is not really impressed with the footwork in it, because any moment I look like I'm going to slide off the rock if a wave comes. But I think I like that.
So the album was released there on Friday night, was it?
Friday night, with no fuss, no fanfare. Myself and Kayla and Enda, my husband, we just chilled out. Myself and Kayla went for a bite to eat. Enda went down home to his parents, and it was out. And I kind of was relaxing after a week at school, because I've got third class in Lurgy Brack, and they're keeping me on my toes. So I just was just chillaxing, and next thing, all the emails and the messages all started to come in, that, you know, because I just shared it on, I think I shared it on Facebook, and I shared it on Instagram, and that's it. And people are just organically reaching out, and I'm really pleased about that. You know, it's an itch I have to scratch, Jean. I just love writing, and I love recording it, and then I just like to send it out, and if it flies, it flies, and if it doesn't, I still feel fulfilled that it's something that I've done for me and my family, you know.
And where can we get the album, Bridget?
You can get the digital album anywhere, and at the moment it's on all the platforms, you know, iTunes, Spotify, Geezer, all the rest of them. And then I'm having a special night on the 4th of November in Lifford Courthouse, along with some of the Wild Atlantic women and guests, and that's for the hospice. And I'm going to have some hard copies there, and I'm also planning a very informal couple of launches that's going to be family and friends. So that hard copy will be available then from the end of October on.
Brilliant. And you're going to sing your favourite track from the album for us now, and fantastic. So take it away, as you say.
Well, as I always say, I always write and sing my own songs, because whenever it goes wrong, nobody ever knows, really. Oh, and then my keyboard just turned off while we were waiting. So we're all having technical hitches tonight, Jean. It must be the full moon of the weekend, is it?
Maybe there's a gremlin here.
Something like that. Here we go. Resting by the lake, with her face towards the sun, breathing in the beauty of the heather. She listens to the gentle ripples kiss the quiet shore, and closing her eyes she hears the laughter. She sighs as she remembers simple childhood days, smiling at the memories buried deep within this place. She smells the turf fire burning, sees her sisters at the door, and her heart is full of yearning for those yesterdays once more. My island mother, strong and silent, she's a fighter. Through the struggles of her life, she emerges, she survives. How I love her, my island mother. Walking to the lake, I see her waiting with a smile. Deep in prayer, I hardly dare disturb her. She's lost in her own reverie, though I'm right here by her side, and I catch a glimpse of all who walked here with her, holding on to who she was when she was just a girl, running through this mountainside. This island was her world. Sitting in the evening sun, she whispers up above, and she hopes someday she'll find a way to share her mother's love. My island mother, strong and silent, she's a fighter. Through the struggles of her life, she emerges, she survives. How I love her, my island mother. Through the struggles of her life, she emerges, she survives. How I love her, my island mother.
Fantastic, Bridget, fantastic. And if a few wishes, and your best wishes, Brie, from all the lads in the Hard to Beat band.
Oh.
And also, brilliant interview, Jean, with the wonderful Brie Jean, and love the song Island Mother. Best wishes with the new album, As You Don't Need Good Luck. Love from Rosie and Brendan and family.
Oh,
and John Wallace says, please wish Brie Jean Carr good luck and all the best with her new album, and wants to say hello to all his friends as well. So thank you so much, Brie Jean, for taking time out.
Thank you,
and
Jean.
every success with the album.
Thank you so much, and thanks to John Wallace too, of course.
Can help you achieve a cosier, healthier and more energy efficient home, and one with